Brandon, with the black piece is definitely a very difficult game, and it felt like you were quite uncomfortable with your position. You were spending a lot of time. The position was quite uncomfortable. Tell us a bit about your experience with this game.
Yeah, no, so I figured going into this game, I was just going to try to sleep well, not prepare too much. And it's kind of funny because I looked at this line, and like I looked at every move order of like Rookie 1, Knight BD2, H3, and as I was walking into the game, I realized, what if White goes Rookie? Just in my head, I was walking the game. I was like, what if White goes Rookie 1 in H3 without Knight D2?
Okay.
How am I supposed to play this? Because so the thing for Black normally is like, so you have Rookie 1 H3, White wants to play a quick D4 and not allow Bishop G4.
Okay.
And so if I play something like H6, then D4 is probably pretty strong here. And okay, I can go B5 and transpose some other line, but that's not really what I want. And yeah, or I can start with B5, Bishop C2. But now it's not really clear what I do because again, White is, maybe this is what I should have done and just go Bishop B7 here, and it kind of transposes to somewhat like something that I know. But I kind of figured like, okay, Bishop F8 can't be the wrong move. Like Bishop G5, H6, Bishop H4. I mean, I figured worst case, like I can play like Bishop E7 here, and it's probably not a big deal. And I got to this position and I realized that I'm actually in pretty big trouble here because, like, if I go Bishop E7, I feel like I'm kind of down a tempo on normal Italian lines.
Right.
And
now maybe he can reshuffle, go Bishop G3,
right.
D4.
Yeah, and if I go G5, like I played, I mean, I figured it's probably a bit unsound, but I thought it would be an interesting try at least. But then, yeah, I mean, I played this terribly after Knight D2, B5, Bishop C2. I think maybe instead of Bishop B7 was a terrible move. Even after Knight F1, I was considering Bishop back to C8. It was such a bad move. I think like sort of similar to what I did in the game, like with Knight E7, Knight G6, everything. Starting
but just with the Bishop on
C8, of course. And yeah, I mean, I think I sort of hallucinated that I had.
Tell us why. Why is the Bishop much better on C8 than on B7?
Yeah, so I mean, Bishop B7 is only useful if I'm going to be preparing D5. So I kind of hallucinated some D5 thing, but it's all pretty bad, I think, because whenever I go D5, you can just go like Knight E3, Queen E2, and kind of just leave it there.
Yeah.
And yeah, like with the Bishop on C8, if he goes like, I can play a quick Knight E7, Bishop E6. And I think maybe this isn't so bad for Black. Okay, I see the computer. Yeah, I'm still worse, but it's kind of like well,
okay, this is a typical advantage that it gives away.
Yeah. So Bishop B7, yeah. And the issue with this with Knight F1, Knight E7 is that like after Knight E3, instead of Knight G6 go back, like I mean I just completely underestimated that H4 was going to crush me on the king side. I thought I'd have time for some C5, C4 counterplay, but I just as soon as I got here, I realized like I'm in pretty serious trouble. So at this point, I'm kind of trying to find the only move to stay in the game every move.
Yeah.
And I think kind of luckily there's no like direct way for White to put me away after Knight G6. I mean, so yeah, Knight F5, exactly. Yeah. So after Knight F5, Knight E7, I figured like the principled way for White to play is to take the bishop, like you did, take and then go something like B4 is what I expected.
B4.
Yeah, just to stop C5 and then go A4. And White should be much better here. But I can kind of like sense he was a little bit shaky in its first round, so I kind of tried some psychological trick. I was like shaking my head a lot on purpose, and I was trying to like bait him to go H4 and kind of like try to put me away here because my position looks terrible.
Those are experienced moves right there.
I figured it's my. I mean, I spent all my time. I figured it's my only chance because if he goes B4, A4, or something normal, like I'm.
We don't have any
trouble. Yeah.
The problem.
So I tried to bait him to go H4, and he didn't. Like I played Knight G6 pretty quickly. Okay, apparently it works, but I was just trying to complicate the game. I had no idea if this was actually any good or not.
Yeah.
And I think what he did in the game, I think what he was counting on was after Rook H8, Bishop B3, Rook H5. I think what he missed was Knight takes F7. And I wasn't sure whether Queen E7 or Queen D7 yet. So let's say Queen E7, Queen D2. Yeah, now I can go D5.
Ah, not Rook F8.
No.
Okay.
Knight G5. And this is a total mess, but I thought after, Rook H8. Okay, see the computer actually backs it up, King F1. Exactly, and now something like Queen D7, let's say. And White's up 2 pawns now, but it's actually kind of difficult to find a move. Yeah, because if F3, I can take on E4. And
that's nice.
Yeah, and I didn't see any better than a draw for him. Yeah, so I think he sort of thought like, right. I think he sort of thought that he's getting the F pawn and getting his knight back, and didn't. I don't know. He underestimated my counterplay here.
Did you chat with him afterwards? Did he calculate any of these, or?
After a game like this, I don't think he would be in the mood to talk. I don't think I would be either. No, like I think like a lot of it was just nerves, and we both played pretty terribly, for being honest. But I know it happens first round of the tournament, and it was such a complicated position. It's really tough to evaluate these things, especially with when you're low on time.
But you also played for like a full month before this in Europe, and you were mentioning that, and you are mentioning the first round being shaky, having some rust on your shoulders. Do you feel that that month in Europe helped you start?
I wouldn't say necessarily
strongly?
rust. I I mean, it's a pretty serious event. Playing the first round of something like this, it's a kind of a different experience, especially because I haven't played a one-game-a-day tournament in a long time.
In a while, yeah.
And I don't think he has either. Like, we both came from the World Open a few days ago. So I think it's hard to adjust. Like, that tournament was with 30 delay at the time control. So it's pretty hard to adjust from like a fast-paced tournament where you kind of just have to trust your instincts to like something super serious. I definitely feel like my tournaments in Europe was a good experience, and it did help me like put things together better. But yeah, like at the same time, like most of my games in Europe, I was playing an hour or two of sleep and just sort of, I don't know, having fun with it. I could have done a lot better, and like I think that like for me at least, tournaments like this motivate me to take it more seriously and actually, you know, like take my preparation, my sleep, and my routine pretty seriously during the event. So I don't know. I think different people have different styles and do better in different events. I know some people hate one game a day. Some people hate the more serious events. But I think for me, it's what I need to motivate me to be more disciplined.
You're also coming into this event as the rating favorite. Does that put any extra additional pressure on you? Do you feel that?
I'm not sure what rating they're using for me to be the rating favorite.
Invitational rating.
I think Mishra outrates me by quite a bit. But no, I wouldn't say it adds any extra pressure. I mean, this is my last year. It feels weird being the oldest because it's funny. Like, when I was like 14 or something playing my first event here, I was like, okay, I have 4 years left before I'm too old. I'm sure I'll win one of them. Yes. And I didn't even come close in any of them. So, you know, I wouldn't say that's extra pressure, but I would say like it does feel like now is like my shot. So in some sense, yeah, I guess in some sense it's a good thing, in some sense it's a bad thing.
Guys, any questions?
Yeah, Brandon, first of all, congratulations. Very nice. I want you to bring you to the game position when you played the move rook takes g2. For our audience, could you just tell us how far did you calculate the rook sacrifice variation, which you played in the game, rook takes g2?
So, okay, so yeah, instead of rook takes g2, I kind of figured that like I could play something like rook d8 and probably have a good position, but being so low on time and like the position's still messy with no like clear threat, I figured it's probably better to go for something risky and see how it goes. So knight f4, king f1, queen h2, yeah. So what I saw is, okay, you can't move his rook off the e file because then he takes d4. So basically there's rook e3 and rook e4. After rook e4, well, okay. So again, talking about first round nerves and rust, like in my head I played queen g2, knight g3. And then my hand played knight g3 without realizing, and I tried to not like hesitate to make him not suspect anything. And the thing is, after knight g3, he did take a minute. So bishop takes g3, I should probably be winning for white. Queen takes d2, bishop takes f4. I mean, the game goes on. I can take on b2 and have some bishop f5 maybe, but it's kind of hard to believe this could actually work for black. But I was just sitting there trying not to panic for the whole minute he was thinking, realizing that I meant to go queen g2 first, just avoiding it as well. So from this, yeah, so for this rook e4 line, I did see what I had. And then, so the other option is rook e3. And here, honestly, like I didn't really calculate much, but I saw there were a bunch of like sneaky ideas. Like there's a lot of like, for example, queen g2, king e1, knight g3, king d1, like knight f1, for example. You can go queen e1, and I don't know. Like at some point, I thought I could play some quiet move. I don't even know what. Maybe just bishop f5. Yeah, bishop f5. And I saw up to here, and I figured, you know, we're both low on time. Like, if we get here, then it looks like, I don't know, a nightmare to play with white. And I thought it was a good practical decision, and it did work out. But I'm not quite sure what is going on here. Like, my guess is the computer would say all zeros or something. That's just always what happens. But probably rook d8 was a better move. And I figured during the game that made more sense. But I don't know. I already went this far with the attack. I may as well try rook takes g2 and see how it goes. And yeah, I think like a big problem for me lately has been not trusting myself, trusting my intuition in a lot of positions where I feel like I want that, like I get a good position and then I'm not trusting myself to find like the breakthrough. And I figured, you know what, we're already here. May as well go for it.
This is triple zeros, but
really?
Not with rook e3, not rook e4, rook e2.
Yeah.
No,
rook
rook
e2.
e2.
Rook e2.
Yes.
Interesting. I didn't even consider a rook e2. It just felt wrong to me, but yeah,
that's the funny aspect of engines.
So what happens if queen g2 and knight g3? I'm just curious.
Yeah, knight g3, queen e3, only move. Some crazy stuff.
Okay, this I didn't see at all. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. But yeah, like I figured you probably had some defense, but I think with long time, it's very difficult.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
No, sorry, Brandon. I didn't want to. I didn't want to point out that you're completely bluffing. I was. I thought you really calculated deeply and insightful and brilliant.
Well, yeah, sir. I think you've commented enough on my games to know that I'm always bluffing. So.
Brandon, I'm curious, when was the moment when you figured out like you are winning? Because you were really low on time, and like the move e takes d4, was that the moment when move 40 you made and you were like, okay, I'm winning, or was it still unclear because it was a crazy game, very complicated game at the end?
Well, I mean, when you played rook e4, I was pretty confident I was winning, but besides the scare with knight g3, giving him the extra option, but like once he played king d1, I was pretty confident that I was winning here.
But when you play knight g3, that's like a cold shower. Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
smokes.
Yeah,
I'm actually losing now.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. I like, and the thing is, like, this has happened to me so many times before too. Like when I let go of the piece, I was like, okay, this is just another moment. Like this is gonna happen to me. Like I don't know what I can do about this. Like I just sort of was trying in that minute just to sit there and not like make any face. So I was just trying to like zone my brain out because I'm a very expressive person. So I figured like if I was thinking about the fact that I blundered, I would probably subconsciously make a face or something. So I was just trying to zone out for the whole minute and like not think about it too much.
And it paid off. Congratulations.
It did.
Thank you. Yeah.
I want to say well done, but instead I'll just say good luck with the rest of the tournament.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Nice. But the
Yeah.
rook sacrifice.